I still remember the exact moment my sister Emily decided she owned my life. It was a Thursday evening, and I was curled up on my couch with a glass of wine, finally relaxing after a brutal week at work. My phone buzzed with a text from Emily. "Hey sis, quick heads up, I'm having my birthday party at your place next Saturday. Already told everyone." My stomach dropped. Not asked, told. Like my apartment was some kind of community center she could book whenever she pleased. I immediately called her, my hands shaking slightly as I dialed. "Emily, what are you talking about? You can't just decide to have your party at my place without asking me first." Her laugh was light, dismissive. "Oh, come on, Nora. Don't be dramatic. You have the bigger apartment, and mine's being painted. It's just family and a few friends. No big deal." No big deal. Those 3 words triggered a slideshow of memories from last year's disaster. The way she'd promised just 20 people and 60 showed up. The red wine stain that still haunted my cream carpet, despite 3 professional cleanings. The noise complaint from Mrs. Chen next door, who hadn't looked me in the eye since. The broken crystal vase that had belonged to our grandmother. Emily had laughed it off, saying, "It was just gathering dust anyway." Emily, no, absolutely not. After what happened last year. God, you're still hung up on that? It was a party. People had fun. You need to loosen up. Loosen up? Emily, someone threw up in my bathtub. My neighbor threatened to call the police. You promised you'd clean up and disappeared at 2 a.m. with some guy, leaving me with the mess. That was different. I was drunk. This year will be totally chill, I promise. I took a deep breath, channeling every assertiveness training video I'd ever watched. The answer is no, Emily. You need to find another venue. Seriously? You're going to make me cancel my birthday because you can't handle a little noise? Mom's going to be so disappointed in you. And there it was, the mom card. Emily had been playing it since we were kids, and somehow, at 32 years old, it still made my chest tighten. The next morning, I woke up to 17 messages in our family group chat. My heart sank as I scrolled through them. Emily, can't wait for everyone to see Nora's new place renovation at my party. Mom, how wonderful that Nora's hosting. I'll bring my famous potato salad. Dad, need me to bring the grill, Nora? Aunt Martha, so generous of you, dear. What time should we arrive? Cousin Jake, sweet. Nora's place is way better than that dive bar Emily wanted. I stared at my phone in disbelief. She'd done it. She'd told everyone I was hosting before I'd even agreed. My fingers flew across the keyboard. Me, actually there seems to be a misunderstanding. I haven't agreed to host anything. The responses were immediate. Emily, don't embarrass me in front of everyone, Nora. We already discussed this. Mom, Nora, don't be difficult. It's your sister's birthday. Emily, she's just being dramatic because of a tiny incident last year. Tiny incident. I wanted to scream. Instead, I called my mom directly. Mom, you don't understand what happened last year. It wasn't just a party. It was a disaster. Emily's friends destroyed my apartment. Oh, honey, I'm sure you're exaggerating. Young people just like to have fun. You used to be fun too, remember? Before you got so uptight. Uptight. There it was, the family narrative about me. Nora, the responsible one. Nora, the boring one. Nora, the one who bought her own apartment at 28 while Emily still bounced between rentals. Always behind on rent, but somehow always having money for designer bags and weekend trips. I'm not uptight, Mom. I just don't want 60 strangers destroying my home again. Emily promised it would just be family this time, and maybe a few close friends. You can't turn your back on family, Nora. I hung up feeling defeated, but as I made my coffee, something shifted in me, a small spark of rebellion that had been dormant for too long. I looked around my apartment, my sanctuary, my hard-earned space, and made a decision. If Emily wanted to play games, I could play too. I didn't respond to any more messages in the family chat. Let them think what they wanted. Meanwhile, I started planning. My husband David found me at the kitchen table that evening, laptop open, credit card in hand. "What are you booking?" he asked, kissing the top of my head. "A surprise," I said, showing him the screen. 2 business class tickets to the Maldives, departing Friday evening, returning Monday morning. His eyes widened. "That's next weekend. Isn't that when Emily's having her unauthorized party at our apartment?" "Yes." A slow smile spread across his face. "You brilliant, devious woman. But won't this cause World War III with your family?" "David, I'm 32 years old. I own this apartment. I pay the mortgage. I've been cleaning up Emily's messes, literal and figurative, since we were kids. I'm done." He sat down beside me. "Your mom's going to lose it. Let her." You know what Emily did after last year's party? She posted all these Instagram photos, taking credit for the amazing venue like she'd arranged it all. She got 200 likes while I got a warning letter from the building management. "I remember. You cried for an hour." Well, I'm not crying this time. Over the next few days, Emily's messages became increasingly elaborate. She sent me Pinterest boards for decorations, a Spotify playlist she wanted me to set up, a list of cocktail ingredients I needed to buy. She even had the audacity to ask if I could move my furniture to create a better flow for dancing. I responded to exactly none of it. Emily, Nora, why aren't you answering? I need to know you got the shopping list. Emily, hello? The party is in 3 days. Emily, if you're trying to make a point, you've made it. Now stop being petty. Wednesday evening, she showed up at my door unannounced. I opened it but didn't invite her in. "What is wrong with you?" she demanded, trying to push past me. I held my ground. "Nothing's wrong with me. I told you no except you chose not to listen." "Everyone's coming. I've ordered a cake. Sarah's boyfriend is DJing." "Then I suggest you find another venue." Her face turned red. "You're really going to humiliate me like this? Over what, some spilled wine?" "Emily, you and your friends caused $3,000 in damages. You never offered to pay a cent. Because you can afford it. You and David with your fancy jobs and your perfect apartment. Some of us are just trying to have a little fun in life. Have fun somewhere else? Thursday was when Emily pulled out the big guns. She called my dad, who she knew was my weak spot. Dad had always been the peacemaker, the one who hated conflict more than anything. Pumpkin, he said when he called, using my childhood nickname. Your sister's really upset. Can't you two work this out? Dad, there's nothing to work out. She decided to throw a party at my place without asking. I said no, Tom. End of story. But she's already told everyone. She'll be humiliated if she has to cancel now. That's not my problem, Dad. She created this situation. Nora, his voice was tired. You know how Emily is. She doesn't think things through. But she's your sister. Your only sister. And I'm her only sister too. But that doesn't seem to matter when she's steamrolling over my boundaries. Just this once. For me, I felt tears prick my eyes. Dad, it's never just once with Emily, and you know it. Friday morning, I worked from home, packing between meetings. David had taken the day off to help with the deception. We'd been strategic, curtains drawn, cars moved to a friend's garage the night before. To anyone watching, it would seem like we were home. The family chat was blowing up. Emily, T-minus 24 hours. Cousin Lisa, can't wait. What's the dress code? Emily, cocktail attire. Nora's place is too nice for casual. Aunt Martha, should I park on the street or in the building? Emily, building. I'll make sure Nora adds everyone to the guest list. I screenshots everything, evidence for later. At 4 p.m., our Uber arrived. As we loaded our bags, Mrs. Chen poked her head out. Going somewhere nice? She asked. The Maldives, I said cheerfully. We'll be back Monday. Her eyes lit up with understanding. And tomorrow is? Saturday. The night my sister thinks she's having a party here. Mrs. Chen actually smiled. After last year, I don't blame you one bit. Have a wonderful time. As our plane lifted off, I turned off my phone. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could actually breathe. We landed in Mail just as the sun was rising, painting the Indian Ocean in shades of gold and turquoise. The resort transfer was waiting, and soon we were skimming across crystal clear water toward our overwater bungalow. I kept my phone off, but David checked his periodically, giving me updates. Your sister called me 3 times, he said as we checked in. Your mom twice. Let them call. By Saturday afternoon, Maldivian time, I went hazy, which was Saturday morning back home. I finally turned on my phone. The messages were almost comedic in their escalation. 8 a.m. Emily, getting my hair done, so excited. Emily, that was areas started of course in. Thigh Emily is tonight. Emily, that was areas topically and bay Emily is tated to sell that waiter. Emily dotted. 10 a.m. Emily, Nora, can you confirm you got the wine? The good stuff, not the cheap bottles you usually buy. 12 p.m. Mom, what time should we arrive? Emily says 7, but I want to help you set up. 2 p.m. Emily, why aren't you answering? Don't tell me you're still sulking. 4 p.m. Emily, seriously, Nora, this is childish. 5 p.m. Emily, I'm coming over early to help decorate. I pulled up my home security app, one of the best investments I'd ever made. Cameras that covered my front door, the hallway, and the lobby entrance. I set it to record and alert me of any motion. At 5:47 p.m. home time, the first alert came through. Emily was at my door with 2 friends, their arms full of decorations and bags. She was wearing a silver sequin dress that probably cost more than her monthly rent. I watched her ring the doorbell. Once. Twice. 3 times. She pulled out her phone. My phone rang. I declined the call. On the camera, I watched her face shift from confusion to annoyance. She tried the door handle, then knocked, then banged. Nora, open up. We need to set up. Her friends looked uncomfortable. One of them, I recognized her as Sarah from last year's disaster, said something I couldn't hear. Emily waved her off and pulled out her phone again. The text started rolling in. Emily, where are you? Emily, this isn't funny. Emily, people are arriving in an hour. Emily, Nora, answer your phone. By 6:30 p.m., the situation was escalating beautifully. More people had arrived. I counted at least 15 clustered around my door. Mom and Dad were there now, Mom in her best dress, holding what was undoubtedly her famous potato salad in a Tupperware container. I could hear them through the security audio. Maybe she's in the shower, Mom suggested. For an hour? Emily snapped. She's doing this on purpose. Don't be ridiculous, Dad said. Nora wouldn't just leave, would she? Cousin Jake arrived with a case of beer. Yo, where's the party? Nora's being Emily started, then caught Mom's warning look. We're just waiting for her to open up. Did you try calling David? Aunt Martha suggested. He's not answering either. I watched Sarah whisper to her boyfriend, the supposed DJ, who was awkwardly holding his equipment. More people kept arriving. By 7 p.m., there were at least 30 people in the hallway. Mrs. Chen poked her head out, and I could see Emily rush over to her. Have you seen my sister? Emily asked desperately. Oh, yes, Mrs. Chen said sweetly. She left yesterday, with suitcases. The look on Emily's face was priceless. Pure, unbridled shock. Left? What do you mean left? Vacation, I believe. She seemed very happy. Now, if you'll excuse me, this hallway is getting very crowded, and I believe there are building rules about gatherings in common areas. She closed her door firmly. Emily turned back to the growing crowd. Her face flushed. Mom was calling me now. Dad was calling David. The texts were coming so fast my phone was vibrating constantly. Mom, Nora, where are you? This is embarrassing. Dad, Pumpkin, please call us. Emily, I know you're in there. Cousin Jake, should we leave? Aunt Martha, this is very inconsiderate, Nora. Then, at 7:23 p.m., everything escalated to a new level. On the security camera, I watched Emily pull something from her purse, a hairpin. She was actually trying to pick my lock. Emily, what are you doing? Mom gasped. She's in there, Emily insisted. She's just being petty. This is my birthday. You can't break into her apartment, Dad protested. It's not breaking in if she promised I could use it. You said she offered. Mom's voice was sharp now. Emily, did Nora actually agree to this? The silence that followed Mom's question was deafening. Even through the security camera, I could see Emily's friends exchanging uncomfortable glances. Sarah's boyfriend had already started packing up his DJ equipment. She's my sister, Emily stammered. She always hosts family events. That's not what I asked, Mom said slowly. Did Nora agree to host your party? Before Emily could answer, 2 uniformed security guards appeared in the hallway. My building had excellent security, something I paid extra for after last year's fiasco. Excuse me, the larger guard said. We've had multiple complaints about a disturbance in this hallway. This is a residential building, not an event space. Emily turned on her charm. Oh, there's just been a misunderstanding. My sister lives here and we're having a small family gathering. Is your sister home? The guard asked. She's pet of talks, we're waiting for her. She's kind of to be any from imitations basically. We're waiting for burning her faces. Ma'am, we're going to have to ask everyone to leave. The hallway needs to be clear. It's a fire hazard. But it's my birthday. Emily's voice had risen to a whine. That's not our concern. Everyone needs to leave now, or we'll have to call the police. I watched Aunt Martha gather her things huffily. Well, I never. Nora has some explaining to do. Dad looked defeated. Mom looked suspicious. The cousins and friends were already heading toward the elevator, mumbling apologies and excuses. But Emily wasn't done. This is ridiculous, she shouted. My sister lives here. I have every right to be here. Ma'am, please lower your voice. Don't tell me to lower my voice. Do you know who I am? And that's when Sarah grabbed her arm. Emily, stop. Let's just go. No, this is my birthday. Nora ruined everything. The security guard pulled out his radio. We need police assistance in building 3, 7th floor. The crowd scattered like roaches when you turn on a light. Within minutes, only Emily, our parents, and the security guards remained. Emily was crying now, ugly, mascara running tears. She did this on purpose, she sobbed to Mom. She humiliated me. Mom's response surprised me. Emily, did you or did you not ask Nora permission to use her apartment? She's my sister. That's not an answer. 10 minutes later, the police arrived. I watched them take statements, Emily gesticulating wildly, the security guards looking bored. Eventually, everyone was escorted out. The last shot on my camera was Emily's tear-stained face as she waited for the elevator, her sequin dress catching the harsh hallway light. I turned off the security app and looked out at the Indian Ocean. David handed me a cocktail, something fruity with an umbrella in it. How do you feel? He asked. Free, I said, and I meant it. We had dinner on the beach that night, fire dancers performing as we ate fresh seafood and laughed about everything except what was happening back home. I kept my phone on silent, but the notifications kept coming. By the time we went to bed, I had 47 missed calls from Emily, 23 from Mom, 18 from Dad, 15 from various relatives, 132 unread messages in the family group chat, 89 direct messages. Sunday morning, I finally read through some of them. The family chat was a masterpiece of dysfunction. Emily, Nora abandoned me on my birthday. Aunt Martha, this is so unlike Nora. Something must be wrong. Cousin Jake, yo, the cops actually came. That was wild. Uncle Bob, maybe she had an emergency? Emily, she's in the Maldives. Mrs. Chen told Mom. Mom, everyone calm down. I'm sure Nora has an explanation. Emily, her explanation is that she's a selfish Dad, Emily. Language. Cousin Lisa, wait, did Nora actually agree to host or not? Emily, why does that matter? Cousin Lisa, because it kind of matters a lot. Then came the private messages. Most were variations of, how could you? And this was cruel. But there were a few surprises. Sarah, hey, I don't have your number but got it from Jake. Honestly, good for you. Emily needed this wake-up call. She's been walking all over you for years. Mrs. Chen, I hope you're enjoying your vacation. The hallway is finally quiet. Jake, NGL, that was savage but also kind of awesome. Emily tried to break into your apartment, BTW. The cops were cool about it though. And then, buried in the mess, one from my dad that made me tear up. Pumpkin, I'm not saying what you did was right, but I understand why you did it. Emily just admitted she never actually asked you. Your mother and I need to have a long talk with her. Enjoy your vacation. We'll deal with this when you get back. We extended our stay an extra day. I called my boss Monday morning, used a personal day. David did the same. We snorkeled, had couples massages, and watched the sunset from our private deck. For 3 whole days, I didn't think about Emily or the party or the family drama. But reality was waiting when we landed Tuesday afternoon. The Uber ride home was quiet, both of us knowing what was coming. Sure enough, Emily's car was parked outside our building. She was sitting on the lobby couch, and she looked terrible. Her hair was unwashed, she wore no makeup, and her eyes were swollen from crying. When she saw us, she jumped up. How could you? She started immediately. Do you have any idea what you put me through? Hello to you too, Emily, I said calmly, wheeling my suitcase past her. She followed us to the elevator. Everyone's laughing at me. The whole family thinks I'm a joke. That must be difficult for you, I said in the same tone I used with difficult clients. Difficult? Difficult? Nora, the police came. The police. Yes, that tends to happen when someone tries to break into an apartment. We stepped into the elevator. Emily squeezed in with us. I wasn't breaking in. It was supposed to be my party. The party I explicitly told you not to have at my apartment? You were being unreasonable. The elevator opened at our floor. I walked to my door, Emily still following, still ranting. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Sarah's boyfriend told the whole DJ community that I'm a disaster to work with. Mom and Dad are barely speaking to me. Aunt Martha called me entitled. I turned the key in my lock. Emily, I'm tired. I'm going inside my apartment now. The apartment that I pay for. The apartment where you are not having any parties, ever. You're such a... I closed the door in her face. She banged on it for 5 minutes before security came and escorted her out. That evening, my parents came over. Mom looked exhausted, Dad disappointed. We owe you an apology, Mom started. We've enabled Emily for too long. She told us what happened last year, Dad added. The real story, the damages, the police warning. We had no idea. No, I tried to tell you, I said quietly. We know. We should have listened. Mom's eyes were wet. It was easier to give Emily what she wanted. You were always so responsible, so capable. We figured you could handle it. That's not fair, Mom. No, she agreed. It's not. It's been a month now since the birthday disaster. The family dynamics have shifted dramatically. Emily isn't speaking to me, which, honestly, has been peaceful. She tried to turn the family against me for a while, but when the full story came out, the $3,000 in damages, the photos I'd saved of last year's destruction, the screenshots of her messages announcing a party I'd never agreed to, most of them understood. Some still think I went too far. Aunt Martha maintains that family doesn't do that to family. But then again, Aunt Martha also thinks Emily can do no wrong. The younger cousins think I'm a legend. Jake even bought me a coffee mug that says Boundary Boss as a joke. Mom and Dad have started therapy with Emily. Family therapy, they call it, though I've been notably not invited. That's fine with me. They need to work through their dynamic without me being the buffer. Last week, Emily sent me a long text. Not an apology, exactly, but close. I've been thinking a lot about what happened. My therapist says I have issues with boundaries and entitlement. I guess I never really thought about how my actions affected you, because you always seemed so together, so perfect. It was like nothing could really hurt you. But that's not true, is it? Anyway, I'm working on myself. Maybe someday we can talk. I haven't responded yet. I'm not ready. Maybe I will be someday, but not now. David and I are planning to host Thanksgiving this year. We've already sent out proper invitations, the kind that require RSVPs and have clear start and end times. Emily wasn't invited, which caused another family uproar, but I held firm. My home, my guest list. Mrs. Chen and I have become friendly. She brings me cookies sometimes, and I help her with her computer. Last week, she told me, you know, dear, in my 70 years, I've learned that the only people who get upset when you set boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. She's right. I used to think being a good sister meant always saying yes, always being accommodating, always cleaning up the messes. But now I understand that sometimes being a good sister means saying no. It means teaching lessons, even hard ones. It means protecting your own peace. Emily's next birthday is in 364 days. She's already dropped hints about wanting a do-over party. Mom shut it down immediately. You'll need to plan your own party, at your own venue, with your own money. Progress. As for me, I'm learning to enjoy my apartment again. I had the carpets professionally cleaned one more time, got that wine stain out finally, bought a new crystal vase to replace Grandma's grana, started hosting small dinners with friends who respect my space. Sometimes I think about that night, watching the security footage from a beach in the Maldives, the chaos, the embarrassment, the meltdown. Do I feel guilty? Maybe a little. But mostly, I feel free. Free from the weight of always being the responsible one who fixes everything. Free from the expectation that my life is community property for Emily to use as she pleases. The Maldives pictures are still on my Instagram. Emily unfollowed me, but I gained about 50 new followers from various family members and their friends who heard the story. The most liked photo is one of me holding a cocktail on the beach, captioned, "Sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is the word no." Sarah commented on it, "Iconic." Jake added, "Legendary." And Mrs. Chen, who just joined Instagram, wrote, "Well deserved, dear." So yes, maybe I went nuclear. Maybe I could have handled it better. But after years of being walked over, sometimes you need to make a statement that can't be ignored. Sometimes you need to go to the Maldives while your sister learns what boundaries mean. And honestly, I'd do it again.